The Edmonton Oilers are looking to bounce back tonight. Very tough one on Monday. Highly entertaining hockey game. But the Oilers, they've got some reinforcements tonight. They've got a man coming back in one, Victor Arvidson, as they take on the Boston Bruins down at Rogers Place. Hello, what up? And welcome to Pre-Gaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford. The Giant. Pre-Gaming is a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the code NATION, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Let's check in with the chat right now. Lance Kane's in. First one, nothing but W's. Also, Lance Kane, as I told you, Brett, he's my insider on the streets, as Lance knows. He DM'd me the other day, and he goes, I don't know if you listen to 12 hours of sports talk radio a day like I do. I went, no, I don't. So thank you very much. Nick Sun is in and says, Cappy with 2 today. I'd like that. Sticking in the top 6, that is. Sadistic Angel, I like this one. Just pre-drinking with Bordzy. Hell yeah, I've been seeing you guys in the chat like Doug Waite. Sorry, been drinking for an hour, LOL. Thursday is basically Friday. Get it started. As Tyler always says, spend your hungover time on company time, which, boys, we have been doing all day today, people. I got to be real with you. This is a highly, highly, highly hungover version of Pre-Gaming with Bordzy for all three of us right now, because we had our Oilers Nation Christmas party last night. It was fantastic. I didn't know when to shut it down. Actually, all three of us did not know when to shut it down. Still here at 2 a.m., crushing Odd Company Nation beers all night long. And, boys, it has been a rough one today. As you can tell, I am joined by the one, the only, Zach Laing. Zach, vibe check, because I took a 90-minute nap in the other studio like 2 hours ago. It has been tough sledding today. We watched a movie. Yeah. It's been, I mean, all things considered, we're doing it together at least.
Yeah, we are. We're riding through this. We're gutting through it. I was scared to take a nap because I was like, man, if I go lay down, I don't know if I'm going to be getting back up today.
Brett woke me up.
Yeah, somebody needed to.
Yeah, I wasn't getting up my own.
I was starting to get concerned for the well-being of this show. I was concerned that we were not going to start this on time.
Yeah, so mixing in some waters, trying to get the body rehydrated. You know, this thing's a temple after all, right? So
I'm gonna be real with you. This is just full of H2O right now. I can't think about stomaching anything. Brett, vibe check. How you doing back there?
Vibe check's not too bad. You know what? I think I'm in a better spot than you guys, but I also did fall asleep. I will admit that I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning, so I had a little bit extra Z's.
You know, when you are just dangerously hungover and you go in the shower and you find a way to sit down. That was me this morning, man. Just heavy breathing.
That's when you sit there and you're like, oh, I lost today.
I was like, honestly, I just wanted to shut it down and start again tomorrow. Start fresh, do a new day. And then woke up and went, oh, yeah, the Oilers play tonight. We're going to be here all night long. And there's no place I'd rather be with my two boys. I said we're in this together. But the Christmas party last night was pretty awesome. We were down at Dog Patch. We went on the outdoor rink. A couple of us brought our skates. Shout out to both of you guys. Didn't bring your skates. You were still out on the ice feeding me one-timers repeatedly, which a couple beers. It might have been missing the net quite wide, but we were having a great time out there. We came back and had awesome dinner. Shout out to Jay. Does it all. And Zachary, when I was taking these clap bombs, we also decided to try you redirecting pucks. And I feel bad for what I did to you.
Yeah, you know what? I made some really good contact on a couple. I think I actually
some really good ones
with a few of those tip-ins that I had. And then
I surprised you.
Yeah, and then I got Zachary Hyman by Bordzy. And I didn't take one in the face, thankfully. Not that this could get much worse than it already is. But I took one in the arm. And my arm feels like his face right now.
It's so swollen.
It is. It's really swollen. My arm is sore. I forgot about it this morning. And I was like taking a shower. And I like washed my arm. And I was like, Jesus. Why does this hurt? Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. That's right. Bordzy.
Accountability, hand up.
Still went in the back of the net, though, so would have counted.
It did.
Goal to goal, baby.
That is the most Zach Hyman goal. You take it off of any body part.
That's right.
And it crossed that goal line. We then did our, can you guys call it Yankee swap? Chinese gift exchange?
I've heard
White
it all.
elephant, right? You guys all in the chat know what that is. And we were doing that last night. We have a history here at Oilers Nation. well, I should say Waz has a history here at Oilers Nation of getting the shittiest possible gifts you could ever give someone. Last year, it was 30 K-Cups for a Keurig.
In like a plastic bag.
And nobody had a Keurig, so without that, what are you going to do? This year, Waz actually did have a nice gift.
He did. He got like a Polish gift basket with a bunch of like Polish goodies in there. It was very well done. I was impressed with them.
There was a lot of stealing. What did you guys end up with? What did you end up
I got the s'mores kit from
Which was unreal.
Eli. That was awesome. I was actually really excited about that one.
We should have used that before when we were at the
we actually
ODR.
should
We
have.
could have made s'mores. Brett, what'd you get?
I walked away with the liquor bundle from Spencer that actually was a wildly hot commodity, and I picked it second because Tyler tried to screw me.
It's the best part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Just looking a guy dead in the face and be like, I'm about to fuck you over.
He looked at me. He's like, and I could tell there was something going on. I picked 5 initially. I looked at him. He looked at me. He goes, let's just trade dead on. I didn't get number 1. I was like, okay, fine. Trade. Look, he had 2. So I had to go 2. I had to go the entire game trying to get this bundle of liquor again. And guess what I got? The bundle of liquor.
The bundle of liquor. I got, it was a bag that had 4 Alley Cat beers in them. We are odd company men, but I will drink anything, which last night, Jesus. But it had 4 beers in it, and then 3 shotgun tools that you pop it in and like turn it, and it stays in and it has a little hose, funnel, whatever, mouthpiece, and you can go it. I also took Tyler on in a race. Anybody want to guess who won that one by a country mile?
You raced Tyler?
Yeah, shotgun.
Oh.
Not physically.
Where
Content
was I?
idea. Content idea. Let's go with the track. But yeah, Christmas was good. Bozen, he said, who got the Keurig pods? Nobody got any Keurig pods. That was pretty good.
There wasn't any bad gifts last night, I don't think.
Yeah, really.
My favorite one was Tyler getting his own gift at the end of the night.
Did he? Oh, yeah.
It was literally a jug of antifreeze, like or a washer fluid, 2 tall boys of beer, and I think there was like a 6-pack of like mini Coca-Cola cans in there. That thing got traded around like 4 or 5 times. Begged Milk ended up with a great one though.
He got the best one.
He had got a nude shirt. I think he posted it up on his socials. That thing was really sweet. He looked so happy at HQ today wearing that thing, and it looked great on him.
He walked in and it was just glowing, beaming.
yeah.
While the 3 of us looked like absolute dog shit laying around the office. I was like, if I was wearing that shirt, I'd feel 100 times better. Also, shout out Gina. She was there. She said, I vouch. Bordzy won the shotgun by a mile. Respect. But we knew that. H is in. What was Liam's gift that he forgot? Fun fact, I ended up with that gift as well. And it was, Liam had to pick me up this morning because I'm responsible. Holiday season. Left my vehicle down at the office. Liam picks me up today and he goes, okay, do you want it? And it's a coffee mug that changes color due to the temperature of whatever's in it. And it's all Christmassy and Santa'd up. He said he got the same one and it's Santa shirtless on a beach. I kind of wanted that one. Statistics in and says both of you need Santa hats. Fun fact, boys, I actually have 2 full Santa suits. Beard, boots, pants, everything. I got 2 of them. Don't ask me why. It's a long story.
We're doing one of the last games before Christmas, so we can we'll dress up. I'll dress up with you.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a good ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Santa?
Santa! Brett, that was really good, and I thought you would do really good. I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you. But yeah, overall, awesome Christmas. Just getting started. I pointed out to Zach that our hangovers are now turning into 36-hour hangovers, and tomorrow I have another Christmas party, and then pre-gaming's at 1 p.m. the next day. You're coming to the party, Brett. You're coming.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So I think hungover might be the theme, but let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers. Enough about us, because there's a different storyline coming into tonight against the Bruins, because can you believe it, gentlemen? Victor Arvidson is officially returning to the lineup. Woo! Come here. His last game was on November 12th, and he has missed the last 15 games, more than he has actually played so far this season. And while we still have no idea what the injury was, what it maybe currently still is, it's undisclosed. Arvy came out and said he was dealing with it for 2.5 weeks before he even got out of the lineup, which I was a little surprised by, because from my recollection, him, Draisaitl, and Vasily Podkolzin were starting to cook in those 2.5 weeks. So props to Arvy. It's tough, and I don't know, considering this dude has spent so much time on the IR over the last 2 seasons, it is so exciting to see him back. I'm so happy because whether you like it or not, he's here for 2 years. He's on a 2-year deal. Tonight, as you saw in that lineup there from our boy Brett, he'll be on the third line skating with Adam Henrique and Connor Brown. You know, the old dip your toes in, right? You gotta work back, get back into game shape, game conditioning, if you will. And right, Zach, you never want to lose your spot to injury. That kind of applies to all sports. The reality sometimes is you do that. Shout out Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe. Suck it, Drew Bledsoe. But I digress. Just need to throw that in there. I'm more than okay with Arvy starting in the bottom 6 here. The way Kapanen has looked in that second line with Draisaitl and Podzilla. Dry is on fire. He's had 6 straight, at least 2-point performances in a row. If it ain't broke, you don't fix it. And it's not broke right now. It's rich with production. I'm totally okay with the move. Thoughts on Arvy returning and then him starting in the bottom 6?
Yeah, honestly, first and foremost, just exciting to get him back into the lineup. I mean, this is somebody that I was really excited about coming into this season here. It's great to see him drawing back in. Honestly, I was expecting him to slide back into that second line spot, taking over from Kapanen, but credit where it's due to Cappy too, because I think he's been really solid since he's come here, especially finding some chemistry now with Draisaitl and Pods on that second line. I really like the look of them. So I guess in one sense of the term, for as much as I am surprised, I'm also not surprised. It kind of makes sense. And in the same breath too, it takes a little bit of the pressure off of him. You know what I mean? Lets him get his feet back underneath him. You know, he was talking about earlier today, like how, the last few years, he hasn't really played a whole lot of hockey. I mean, just 18 regular season games last year with the LA Kings, drew in for 5 in the playoffs, and that was sort of it for him. So I think, first and foremost, just getting him back in the lineup is great, and let's get his feet underneath him and see if he can get on the scoreboard and start getting that mojo going.
And right, it's not like that third line is full of scrubs or anything. Adam Henrique can produce. Connor Brown has been producing lately, hence why he's moved from the fourth line up to the third, as our pal Jeff Skinner moves down to that fourth line wing spots. Now, with that just Kapanen argument there as well, it's been highly debated on ONE. Today, when Liam saw the news that he's been big on Kapanen staying in the top 6, Tyler kind of laughed at him the other day when he brought it up. Me and Liam are driving in today, and he just had a shit-eating grin and was like, can't wait to rub it in Tyler's face. But one comes in Victor Arvidson, one must come out. So it's RIP Derek Ryan. No, I'm kidding. He's still alive. He's still well, but he's not going to be in the lineup tonight. He's going to be watching from the press box. And I think it's fair to say it's a move that here at Oilers Nation, nobody has a problem with besides Matthew Wozniak, of course. And DR10 has been solid this season, right? I don't have any outward complaints with him in the limited minutes he's playing. Single digits, usually solid enough on the penalty kill. He's done okay. I don't have any outward complaints that I could think off the top of my head, but I just do not view Derek Ryan as an everyday NHLer anymore, especially on a Stanley Cup contending type team. And the thing is, he wasn't even that last year. He was in and out of the lineup a lot. You use him in spurts here and there, keep his boots fresh. And I don't know. I'm totally okay with the move. He's clearly the guy. And okay, we'll start there. Derek Ryan comes out. We'll talk about who replaces him with a little, as Jay, our fearless leader, would say, just flip him with Matthias Janmark, but DR10, obvious choice to come out of the lineup.
Yeah, I think so. It makes the most sense to me. Corey Perry, I thought he's been looking good this season. He's chipping in offensively. Derek Ryan, he's struggling this year. 38.9% goal share with him on the ice. That's not great for somebody who's been, a defensive specialist for the last number of years. And it kind of feels like, sorry for this, the game's kind of passed him by. It feels like it's kind of getting to that point in his career where, I think it's going to be him out of the lineup more than in moving forward here. Janmark sliding into the middle. I'm not sure I necessarily love that. It's kind of weird.
See it first. I got to see it first.
See it, I guess. I think his career face-off percentage is 38%, which is not great. Definitely below the 50% mark. So we'll see what happens. We'll give it a shot, see what they look like, and kind of go from there.
And right, that's, if you could say, probably the most redeeming quality for Derek Ryan is his face-off numbers and his penalty kill. And Janmark, he slides down to that fourth line, and he's going to play the center position between Jeff Skinner and one Corey Perry. It's been a battle for Jeff Skinner through and through this season. It's a battle like we have been battling throughout today. No, we've been battling harder. But Janmark comes into that spot. He said himself it's the first time that he's played center in quite a long time. And we had Tyler Ennis, former Edmonton Oiler, on Oilers Nation every day today. And we asked him, is it that simple to just flip him, right? Is it that easy to just move him over? I know Matthias Janmark is a veteran NHL forward. He's done it all before, but it's got to be difficult. And his response was, no, it's not easy to just flip. But if you're going to be playing fourth line minutes in 10, 11 minutes, who knows, maybe even single-digit numbers, then it's very doable. But it's tough for Janmark that he has to move down and kind of be that odd man out. It's still in the lineup. We're still appreciative of that. Who knows when and if and when Evander Kane returns. But Janmark has produced this season, right? He's already got 13 points on the year, more than he had last year. He had 12 in 71 games. But tough roster decisions kind of do have to be made here, Zach. And it is through and through the best problem to have that you have a producing guy in Matthias Janmark, and he has to slide down on the fourth line. You've got Jeff Skinner on your fourth line. Would I like him to maybe earn and move up a little bit? Yes. But it's a good problem to have, Janmark. I think he's just going to have to find a way to live in this role, right? And he's done it before. We've seen it. Brett, curious, what are your thoughts on Matthias Janmark playing 4C? Because of those reasons I just mentioned, he's been producing. He's been one of our most consistent bottom six forwards, and he's done it on the wing.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's funny. I was listening to Knobloch's presser today, and he spoke about how the team really glows about what Matthias Janmark can do. As he mentioned, he is the janitor. He's able to clean up the messes, and he's able to go into different situations, whether it's top six, bottom six, fourth line, whatever it is, and make the most out of that time, killing penalties, whatever it may be. I'm excited to see what Janmark does. I think he realizes too that it's kind of a different situation. As he mentioned, he hasn't played center in a very, very long time. So he's a smart player. He's a good player. I'm very interested to see what's going. I think he's going to succeed. I mean, I'm a defenseman in ball hockey. I don't get into the face-off dots too often, so I can't give my very limited analysis of winning face. I did win one face-off, though. I played forward for a game.
Attaboy.
For some reason, don't know what happened, who broke their leg, but I did end up winning a face-off, so I can give them that. It's not easy winning face-offs, and especially when you're slotted in to become a defensive zone winning face-off guy. You're slotted in here and there, so it's going to be tough. I think he will come out easier and better and less affected, not effective, than we think, and I'm quite excited to see what happens here tonight. I love Matthias Janmark, so putting him in different situations, seeing whether he's uncomfortable or all of a sudden, shit, we have a new option here, boys. Like it's a pretty interesting night to watch the bottom six for the Edmonton Oilers.
I said a great problem to have. A great problem to have. We've had bottom six talent in our top six for years back in the decade of darkness. I will welcome this. Bob Stauffer also mentions, just so everyone remembers, Janmark's also the fastest player in the league since 2021, technically. Facts, brother.
Yeah, I was curious about that too, because you look at the lines, and I saw when Tony Barr, shout out TB.
Shout out.
When he brought out the lines today, and I sat and saw that fourth line for the first time, I was like, Skinner, Janmark, Perry. How many people are going to complain about foot speed? And then I went, it's Matthias Janmark, brother. Like, you better not.
He'll make up for it, brother. He'll make up for it.
Yeah, don't worry. And again, like, Skinner's a decent skater. He's not Connor McDavid or Matthias Janmark skater, but a decent enough skater, small guy, can get around. Corey Perry's not the best of foot, slightest of foot, but he's able to get around and he's able to get into these dirty spaces. I'm not too worried about foot speed. I'm not too worried about skating here. Like mentioned, I'm excited for
Especially
it.
on the fourth line. I'm never asking my fourth line to be the fastest of foots and fastest of feet. Yep, there we go. Take two. That one makes more sense. Let's see. So somebody said, do not shout out TB. No. We love TB over here. And the thing you also got to preface it with is the best part about pre-gaming. We can spend 60 minutes talking about this. 20 minutes in, Chris Knobloch could say, fuck that, change up absolutely everything in the rest of the lineup. And we go, okay, well, we spent 10 minutes on that. But also, Jeff Skinner, how do we feel about the demotion of the fourth line, Zachary? It's been up, it's been down. It's been more down than up so far this season. Nobby's been very clear that he values defensive effort more so if you want to play in the top 6. There just isn't a spot for Jeff Skinner right now in the top 6. And as I said, it's kind of internal competition right now for the Edmonton Oilers is at its peak.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think that's a good thing, right? Like, I'm curious to see what Janmark can do on the 4th line. You know, it's worth mentioning that, like, the Bruins are a pretty good face-off team. Like, their centers are all up above 52% on the dot so far this season. So he's going to be in tough there. Jeff Skinner on the 4th line, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't really love it. I mean, I think he's a guy you need in the top 9. I'd like to see him on the 2nd line, to be totally honest. He's an offensive player. Like, the Oilers knew that when they brought him in, right? So it's kind of interesting that he's being turned into this 4th liner and that sort of a thing, right? So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath for him being there long term. I think, you know, he's going to be able to play his way back up, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Also, Steve-O's got something for you here. So, oh, wait, no, that one's for me. That one's for me. And I laugh very hard at that. TB is tuberculosis. Fair. Don't forget about scurvy as well. We got scurvy there too.
True.
But Steve's in. And he says, Zach is looking so good with the beard trimmed.
Thank you.
And then I just realized, in fact, you do have a nice trimmed up beard.
I cleaned it up. I've been cleaning up myself lately. So
what about you?
I'm sorry, my girlfriend didn't realize you hosted pre-gaming with Bordzy.
Also, Bordzy can't be Beardsy. So who am I?
Fair.
Who am I to even say this? We've also got to deal with my friend group. We made this bet like 10 years ago. The day Bordzy can officially become Beardsy, I get all these specific gifts of things. So I got any beard oils, anyone?
Yeah.
I'll take some chances. I've never done any of that before, clearly, as you can tell. But Zach, you're back, and we got another Zach that is back, and he's back with a broken nose right now, to which he said, this is how many times he's broken his nose. He was so casual in that interview today. Brett, throw the photo back up again, because this is just hard to look at. It's painful. He said his kids, they joke, they still calling him dad. They're still loving him. And brother, an absolute fucking warrior to look like this, not only playing this game tonight, but he came back in the 3rd period Monday against Florida, wearing the bubble cage. It's tough because anyone who wears that, I want to call them a nerd to their face, but not my boy, Zach Hyman. And the thing is, he came out there in the 3rd period. He already had 2 goals. I bet him for an anytime goal in the 3rd because I thought we're getting a hat trick. He's going to do it like a warrior, like a Ryan Smith had done before in the history. And we all know Zach Hyman is not Ryan Smith light. What's the reverse of light? He's Ryan Smith extra.
Heavy?
Yeah. Heavy. There we go. I don't want to call him heavy. That sounds kind of mean. Doesn't matter.
It's okay.
But the warrior that he is to come in and get back in that game, we all saw when it happened. The way I joked, I said it looked like a running faucet of blood coming out of his face. It wasn't dripping. It was pouring out of his face. And the bubble's tough. Brett, you said that you would think of, but what was your thoughts on the bubble and playing with the bubble cage?
Yeah, so it's funny you bring this up because I had this funny content idea of the we listen but we don't judge. And it's because I saw Zach Hyman in his bubble with the blood snotting down, whatever, and I went, it's kind of badass.
It is.
That's kind of cool.
But it needs the blood.
Yeah, exactly. The bubble needs the blood. So I'm kind of cool with the bubble if you're fucking leaking blood all over the place and it makes it look cool. I also noticed something about Zach Hyman's nose, like now afterwards with everything. You take a look at this photo specifically. It's like you see obviously the tan thing on his nose right now in this picture, right? I was curious about this. I didn't look it up or at all or anything like this. I'm curious if somebody could tell me. Is that a cast for your nose? Because I've never seen that before.
I think it's something to like kind of keep it in place.
That's crazy.
He said earlier today that like he broke his nose and they had to re-break his nose. And he literally said it sounded like a bag of chips having to get like readjusted. So yeah,
that might be real.
That's also a hangover too.
But yeah, I think it is kind of a cast or something to kind of help keep it in place or something like that.
Because it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's a hard texture.
That would be my guess.
Dude, I said he was just so casual in his interview today. Just like, fucking sucks, but I'll be back out there. Not the first time, won't be the last time. He mentioned how he tried to turn his face to get away from the puck, and that is what inevitably brought his nose out and why it could get dinged up the way it did. Oh, yeah, somebody pointing here as well. Does it help with snoring? Dude,
Question.
well, think about it. When he went to bed that night and, like, I hope he was on so many painkillers that he did just it's like slipping into a warm bath, you know,
Yep.
just fall asleep like that. Or if not, that like, you know, just that, not Sunday scaries, but the scaries late at night before going to bed of just like, holy shit, this hurts. Like breathing would hurt.
Like he got lucky. Like he talked,
Yeah,
you know,
he said that, right?
moving the way that he did, right? Because if he would have taken that in the cheek, like that's busted orbital bone. He's out for months if that's something like that happens, right? So I think busted nose, like all things considering, he got pretty lucky here. So it's great to see him get back out there on that ice in that third period. Great to see him out there. Like just what a hockey guy. You know, just looks like a hockey player now. Not that he like didn't look like a hockey player before, but like, you know, you think about it and yeah, it's oh God, I couldn't imagine that.
And Team Canada doesn't want that guy on their squad. Fuck out of here. All right, let's move now to our Willock Beef Jerky Need to Know information, because only the finest tasting meat products earn the Willock name, made from 100% pure Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. Their jerky gladly fills orders of any size. You can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. And for more information, go to WillockBeefJerky.com. So on the Edmonton Oilers side of things, there's not a lot of need to know. The fact is, Brett, throw the lineup back up. Victor Arvidson is making his return. Since November 12th, as I said, he missed 15 games. He'll be in the bottom six on the third line. Your top six stays the exact same. Derek Ryan out, Matthias Janmark slides down, and will now be centering that fourth line. Others, as I said, Zach Hyman, broken nose, don't matter. He'll be back in there. D pairing's expected to be the same, and Stuart Skinner expected to get the start as well. Tough one on Monday night. Obviously, you allow 6 goals. That's never going to be ideal, but he's been so good lately. I believe he's 5-2 in his last 7. Got some good numbers. More on that later. Was starting Stuart Skinner the right choice here tonight? Because Liam made the joke that it's Pickard Thursdays all month. It's been Pickard all month on Thursdays, and we kind of broke that tradition.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I got no issue with it. I wouldn't necessarily say that like Skinner was the reason the Oilers lost that game. You know, there was some like weird, fluky kind of goals in that one. Like Sam Reinhart from below the goal line. Like, what are you going to do on that one, right? I think there was a couple like that. I'm fine with going back to Skinner here. It's a good team here with the Boston Bruins. Not very offensively potent right now. You know, offense, they're kind of struggling to score beyond the Brad Marchand and David Pastrnak that they have there. You know, for the Oilers, I think playing a strong defensive game is really going to be key tonight. You know, you heard about it after the Florida game. You know, they talked about Chris Knobloch referenced how in that Florida game and the Vegas game before, the Oilers are kind of a little leaky defensively. And they've gotten really great goaltending here from Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard for the last month or so. And Knobloch kind of felt that, yeah, you know, the guy's got a little complacent defensively. So I'm expecting like a tighter defensive game here in front of Skinner tonight, trying to keep things to the outside. Really curious to see the way it all shakes out.
Yeah, Vinny's in and says Stu bounces back a lot and turns on fire. That's what I'm expecting. I'm also expecting that for another Edmonton Oiler who had a dog shit performance on Monday night. I'll let you guess who that one was. And this is just kind of adorable. Number 1 Zach Hyman fan is in the chat and says, by the way, I'm only 14, and last year for my birthday, I got $400 and spent it on a Hyman jersey. Also, I love the show. Well, I love you, and I love Zach Hyman. I think we can all agree with that. Shout out, $400, you spend that. Nice. Attaboy or girl, let me know. But you can be Zach Hyman's number 1 fan. As long as I keep monopoly on Brett Kulak, you can have Zach Hyman. We all have our guys here. Yep. You knew who I was talking about. Go to the Bruins side of Need to Know information. They are 17-13-3 on the year. 3rd in the Atlantic Division. And there you go. Get some look at their numbers. 2.6 goals for. Their goals against 3.2. Look at that power play percentage. That's crazy to me. When I looked at that, 31st in the league, 77 on the PK. Look at those ranks. Nothing there is that special for the Boston Bruins. However, since They fired their head coach, Jim Montgomery. After a tough start to the year, they brought in Joe Sacco to be the bench boss, and they are currently 9-4 under new head coach. Brett, do we have that graphic as well? It's for Swayman? Oh, I think there's another one in the Canva that has under Joe Sacco. Bang, you can get on, whatever. We'll get to it when we get to the lineup. And tonight is the final game of their Western road trip. They're currently 2-2 on the trip. Wins over Vancouver and Calgary. Thank you very much, Boston. And losses to the Winnipeg Jets and the Utah Hockey Club. They really only have one notable injury, and it's Hampus Lindholm. He's been out for quite a while because he fractured his kneecap. Ouch! That would be so painful as I sit here and rub my own leg. Ouchies, ouchies. And Jeremy Swayman is expected to get the start for the Bruins. It's been a tough year for him after going through that arbitration, weird contract, no talk, this talk, some just really weird stuff that went on this offseason, and he's had a not good season. His overall numbers, there you see the splits with Montgomery and then under Sacco, and yes, they're slightly improved. The number one thing you notice is the shots against has gone from 22nd to 3rd in the NHL. So, hey, you're only as good as the people in front of you and the defenders in front of you, Swayman. We'll talk about the starting goaltenders. It's so weird to have to do that all summer long and basically shit talk your number one goalie when everyone and their dog knows you're inevitably going to have to sign him. And then you just come back in the locker room and be like, I was just kidding, man. I was just kidding. It was just a money thing. I know they're pros, but there's a human level to that must just suck having to come back to that. Let's go now to our Sherwood Ford Giant storyline brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant. Tired of dealership hassles? Brett, you just snapped your head because you knew I was going to say it in that tone. Well done. We do spend a lot of time together. Sherwood Ford and Sherwood Park is all about convenience and upfront pricing with their Giant Deal program. Get clear, no-nonsense pricing on new and used Fords online with all incentives included. And plus, you can enjoy the ease of mobile service, free pickup and delivery, and same-day or next-day service appointments. So, storyline, key to victory. I'm going to ask both of you if you got anything tonight. And for me, it's just, this has been a gauntlet of 5 games. Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Vegas, Florida, and then Boston. And there's a lot of W's on that calendar right there. And if I would have told you, if the Oilers can win tonight, that they were going to go 4-1 in that 5-game gauntlet, I don't even know if we would have believe that because these teams were so good, but the Oilers are rounding into form, and it's a big test here against Boston. Yes, I understand they are no longer the big bad Bruins of old, and yes, we just went through all those numbers. Maybe I'm just a Jersey guy. Maybe I've been scarred before. I see the Bruins. You do not take them lightly. They are clearly cooking under their new coach in Joe Sacco. You cannot let your guard down. And second point being, you got to be highly motivated after that game against Florida. And the fact that you had 2 days to sit and ponder that loss. I know Stuart Skinner was not happy after the game. I know Evan Bouchard was not happy after the game. Hopefully they can use that as motivation. Get out here in front of the home crowd, and hopefully they're rowdy. And we come out of this with 2 points. That's kind of my storyline and my key to victory. Zachary, what about you?
Yeah, just what I was talking about earlier, playing some tighter defensive hockey. I think that's really going to be key for the Oilers here. You know, you hear this team talk so much and show that they can really bounce back from poor performances. I think that's what we're going to see from them here tonight. I really like the Oilers in this spot against the Bruins tonight. You know, Boston, it's a bit of quite a road trip for them here. Yep. You know, they've been on the road since December 10th. So 9 days on the road away from home, couple of tough games, a couple of tough losses in there too, kicking things off. They lost to Winnipeg 8-1. Then they lost to Seattle 5-1. They bounced back 5-1 against Vancouver, beat the Flames 4-3 in overtime earlier this week. So, you know, I almost wonder if the Bruins are going to kind of come out with the mindset of like, okay, well, this is the last game of a 5-game road trip. And, you know, it is what it is. And like, let's just get home sort of a
Mail
thing,
it in.
right? Mail it in maybe a little bit. I don't know. Not to say that the Oilers can expect that or anything like that, but yeah, I like the Oilers in the spot quite a bit tonight, and a tight, strong defensive game in front of Skinner, I think is going to be really, really important.
I always love when Kiwi goes, "Good evening, Aaron." Hello. Also,
evening.
Fighting Amish. Why do the stockings in the background spell dab?
Yo.
Oh shit, it does.
Bang! Bang!
That's why, brother. Nice. That worked out for us. Also, number one Zach Hyman fan says, I'm going to tonight's game and both this weekend's games. You get another $400? How are you doing that? You're 14. And said, quote my words, the Oilers will win all 3 games. That's good enough for me. People bet heavily because Zach Hyman's number one fan says it's going to happen. Brett, you got a key to victory. You got a storyline tonight?
I do, and it's kind of similar to what we were already talking about with the bottom 6 and Matthias Janmark. There's some changes in this bottom 6. The nice thing is that there aren't any changes in the top 6. So the top 6 can keep their roll going. They can stay hot. They can keep doing their thing. My key to victory and something to watch out for in the game tonight is, of course, how that bottom 6 is going to fare, how they're going to set up defensively, how long they're going to stay together as well. And again, we mentioned Janmark's not a natural center. What happens if he starts slumping or whatever it may be? Who gets moved where? I just want to see this team really buy into what's going on here and what's going on to the bottom 6. You're almost fully healthy. You still need Vander Kane back. You have Zach Hyman, who's playing hurt. Arvidson's making his return.
And
now
brother, you're playing for spots now.
100%. This isn't the October or November anymore. Mm-hmm. This is where now games start to matter. You can still lose games, but you have to learn from those losses. For me, you have to just buy into what's going on right now. Play your role, and guess what's going to happen? Pucks are going to go in. You're going to win a lot of hockey games. I'm excited to see this bottom 6 tonight.
Step 2, profit. Also, comment of the day goes to Connor McDavid because he said number one Zach Hyman fan has rich parents.
Brilliant.
Clap it up. Clap
Brilliant.
It up. Clap it up. Because it's a cup year. Cup year. All right. You were talking there. I wasn't even listening. I was giggling so hard.
Oh, I know. I realized halfway through, I'm like, I need to figure out how to wrap this up.
Let's take a peek now. We'll go through it. Let's throw up the Edmonton Oilers' entire lineup projected roster tonight with the D pairings as well. Because we went through the top there. Nuge, McDavid, Hyman. You do not change that. The second line, Pods, Dry, Kapanen. You can't change that right now. And then we got our boy back, Victor Arvidson, with Rico and Connor Brown, Jeff Skinner with the janitor, and Corey Perry. D pairings, Ekholm with Bouch. Yes, Evan Bouchard. Darnell Nurse with Troy Stetcher, and Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. Now, am I taking crazy pills or am I talking crazy that I think Evan Bouchard is going to have a monster performance this evening? He was brutal on Monday night. There is no way to sugarcoat it. And it started instantly, tripping over the invisible blue line that's out there, allows the goal. Shorthanded, I might add. They allowed a shorthanded goal against. Then they're still on the power play. McDavid's trying to enter the zone, and Bouchard immediately takes an interference penalty without the puck. The crazy part was me, Coombsy, Pat all looked at each other in studio and were like, you just know it's not his night. Like, you could just tell 2 minutes into that hockey game, it was not going to go well for Evan Bouchard. And it got even worse as we're talking the shin pad assassin. Couldn't get any pucks through. Well, Zach, he did get a puck through. Unfortunately, not on net because it was stopped by Zach Hyman's nose. Boosh. That has got to be, and somebody mentioned it, there was a mandatory day off yesterday. You have to think about that performance, think about that game, and think about how you just fucking pummeled Zach Hyman's face. He better get him a nice Christmas gift. He needs something super, super nice to say, I am sorry. But in that game, right, you could see with Bouch, he was visibly frustrated. He looked pissed off. The chat was pissed. I was a little bit pissed as well. But hey, shit happens. We know that. You're going to have bad games here and there. We've talked forever. We know you take the good with the bad with one Evan Bouchard. But the fans and the pitchforks, they were out again on Monday. And the thing I need to make clear is all defensemen make mistakes, especially first pairing ones who play that much. On the Sam Reinhart goal, Matthias Ekholm just straight up fell racing for that puck, allowed Reinhart to win that, and then he scores the eventual game-winning goal. I was in this chat. Not a single person brought that up. It was all about Evan Bouchard because we do what we do. We tend to run defensemen out and make them public enemy number one, and I do get it. Bouchard is the definition of polarizing, especially in this fan base. So, Zach, am I crazy to think he's gonna show out tonight and be lay off Evan Bouchard? Everybody has bad games. Ekholm had one too, and no one was talking about it.
100%. So we'll start with the second one. Evan Bouchard is an offensive defenseman. That's what he does best, is generating offense. He's also somebody who has the puck on his stick a lot. The more you have the puck on your stick, the more prone you are to making mistakes. Things are going to happen. Players are going to have bad games. Like Connor McDavid, he's the best player in the world. He has off games still too, like where he doesn't look great or he makes mistakes too. It's going to happen. The Reinhart goal, I don't know how anybody really could blame Bouchard on that one because he played it as well as he needed to. He drove Reinhart into the corner. He takes a low
You don't score from below the goal
shot.
line very often.
Absolutely, right? Now to the first note, yeah, I see a bounce back performance tonight. And I think there's a specific area where I can see that coming. That's on the power play. The Oilers' power play is really kind of starting to click right now. Last 10 games, they got the number one power play in the entire NHL. The Boston Bruins, their penalty kill has not been great, ranked 23rd in the last 10 games. Here's the interesting thing about the Bees. They are shorthanded 3.4 times per game in their last 10 games. They are very, very undisciplined right now. So Evan Bouchard, plus 210 to get a power play point on Bet365 tonight. I kind of like the looks of that one.
That's in Bordzy's bankroll. That's the first thing in Bordzy's bankroll. The moment you said where he could get it, I was like, holy shit, he's going to say what I think he's going to say. All right, bet the house. Just kidding. Do so responsibly and only bet what you're willing to lose. I also laugh hard at this. Now, somebody mentioned this. There's so many people. Yeah, Ryan has said, I was in the chat. A few people mentioned it. So, okay, there was a couple that would have brought that out, but I love the accountability and self-awareness from Nathan. Yeah, I was a little unhinged. I put the pitchfork away now. And hey, that's the point of Oilers Nation After Dark. That's the point of this chat, that we can talk it out. Brad, what have I always said? It is citywide therapy from an unlicensed therapist sitting in this chair. I don't know what I'm doing. Brad, is Bouch going to prosper tonight?
Bouch is going to prosper tonight, but kind of going back to your reactions in this. Going back to kind of your reactions in this as well, and just kind of reactions to everything. You know me. I see kind of off plays every once in a while. Someone will go down, I'll go, ref. And then you kind of give me that second, and I'll go, yes, that was a clean play. We know we can be very reactionary.
It's like a sneeze, brother.
Yeah, 100%. You go, oh, no, just kidding. I do think Bouch, in coming back to all of this, we know Bouch is going to bounce back. We have seen it over and over and over again, kind of similar to the Stuart Skinner discussion or whatever discourse you want to talk about. I'm fine with off games here and there. You know my mantra. You can have a loss. You can have a bad game. All that matters is you learned from it and you bounce back and you don't make those mistakes again. That's the biggest thing that I'm watching out for Evan Bouchard. You can make mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes are going to cost games. That's fine. That's one game out of the 600 you're going to play in your career, 600 plus. That's fine. Go and make sure the next time you play and in those future 600 games, that doesn't happen again. So I have a lot of faith in Evan Bouchard. All he knows seemingly is hockey. So I have a lot of trust in Evan Bouchard and being able to bounce back. Look at what he did in the playoffs, boys.
Dude, thank you. What did I told you? I went on Reddit today, and the number one post in the Edmonton Oilers subreddit was, do Edmonton Oilers or do Evan Bouchard haters have dementia? Are they forgetting that he had the most points by defenseman ever in the NHL playoffs? How quick we forget. But it wasn't. It was a terrible game. It was a terrible game on Monday. I also see? It's just accountability in the chat. Iron Duke. Yeah, I may have overreacted a bit when I called the game shitty. There's one thing you couldn't call that game shitty. It was so entertaining up and down with 11 goals. Let's go now to our Short Power Sports Marine starting goaltenders report. Hit the trails this winter and the waves next summer. As fellow hockey fans, the team at Sherwood Power Sports Marine are helping Oilers Nation fans gear up. They're home of an ATV for just $50 bi-weekly, or cruise the open water for as low as $105 bi-weekly. Sherwood Power Sports Marine are hockey fans, helping hockey fans get ready for their next adventure with motorcycles, quads, e-bikes, and boats. I also laughed at this from Connor McDavid. Oilers Nation After Dark is for people who can't afford therapy. Fact. Be sure to throw in the super chats as well. Pull it up for me, Brett. The tail of the tape, the head-to-head between the two goaltenders this evening. Because, Zach, it doesn't happen very often that the Edmonton Oilers are leading in both major categories. Because it's a cup year. Cup year. Jeremy Swayman, 11-10-2 with a 314 goals against an 887 save percentage. That's not good for a man getting paid $8.5 million a season for the next 8 seasons. Then you've got Stu looking to bounce back on that last game. Yes, I know he allowed that many goals. It sucks. Okay, also, before we get there, right, you can pop that off for 1 second. We had this debate on ONE. Is the Reinhart goal an excellent Reinhart goal, or is that a shitty Stu attempted save? I say that's a disgusting Reinhart goal from a guy that scores 50 plus a year like clockwork. When Connor and Leon do that, we never shit on the other goaltender. We go, that's just what they can do because they are superhuman freaks. Is that a nasty goal or a bad goal for Stu to give up?
Nasty goal.
Thank you. Jay was going off yesterday on ONE or today.
I mean,
today on ONE.
What else is Stuart Skinner supposed to do there, right? Like
it was a puck-sized hole right here.
You know, how many times have we seen Connor McDavid score goals like that from angles like that? I mean, it's a goal scorer's goal, an incredible talent, making a really smart play. I don't think you can blame
when it happened to Jake Ottinger in the playoffs, none of us were saying anything. Brett, opinion?
I'm 100% with you guys. As a former goaltender in ball hockey, I did do that. I know positioning.
Not a boy.
Not really. I was very bad. But exactly what you guys said. There is a very minimal spot for Sam Reinhart to put that puck. And if it's Connor McDavid doing the same thing, we go, only Connor McDavid can do that, bro. So great goal. You had very minimal space to put it through. He is tucked up on that post as well. That is the one place. It's a street hockey goal. Like, let's be real. That is the type of stuff that you look for when you are pinned behind the net down the street and you're sitting there going, my crush is sitting there in the corner. I got to do something. And then it somehow happens to work. So long in the game for Stuart Skinner, not fantastic. That goal, not blaming him for.
I'm loving everyone in the chat because they're saying it's an excellent goal. Jay was passionate that is a horrible play from Stuart Skinner. Didn't really get it. Also, number one Zach Hyman fan. You don't have to keep saying it. I'm ignoring you because I think this is dumb. I love you now. Why are the Edmonton Oilers paying Nurse $9 million? Nurse does nothing good for the Edmonton Oilers. Don't make me put you in a timeout. I know you're 14, but that doesn't matter.
You got to learn young.
You got to learn.
Play the hits early.
Nurse does not suck. He's arguably one of the best defensemen for the Edmonton Oilers this season. And if you want a real answer why they're paying him $9 million, he scored 16 goals in the Canadian division. Also blame Seth Jones. Back to the goaltenders. Stu, he's 5-2 in his last 7 games with a .920 over that stretch. So just because he got shelled against Florida, let's remember, Stu has been hot. The Stu has been cooking lately, and I think he's going to continue that one as well. Swayman, those are not numbers that you want to be paying a man $8.5 million for. And it's the thing I said earlier, right? I get arbitration. I get the RFAs, and you don't have rights, and you can do whatever. And it kind of sounds like every player who's gone through it says it sucks, and they say, don't go to that meeting where they just point out all the reasons why you suck. Obviously, Swayman missed parts of training camp as well, so he started late, and he just hasn't looked like an $8.5 million goaltender. And that's the thing. He was never a number one undisputed goaltender and got this $8.5 million deal. It was 1A and 1B with Linus Ullmark. You take out Ullmark, now it's just all on Swayman, and say what you want. Stuart Skinner's been a 1 goalie before. So what are your thoughts on Swayman in this start of the season? It was ugly in the offseason. Remember the spit and chicklets drama going on? It was thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Like, missing training camp's not an easy thing to do. You know, we've seen that happen with guys in the Oilers here who would have slow starts to the season after missing time early in the season. It's almost like the preseason's important to be playing games, right? I think Swayman's better than his numbers show right now. I really do. Like, I think he's a really good goaltender. You know, is he a true number one guy? I don't necessarily know. And that's what we're going to find out over the course of the rest of the season is, you know, is he able to improve? You know, the one thing that I will say, a guy who is improving, it's Stuart Skinner. You know, obviously, yeah, not great letting in 6 against the Panthers. But if you look at his 5 previous games before that, 4-1 record, 942 save percentage. Even if you go 10 games back before the Florida game, 7-2-1, 912 save percentage. So we've seen Skinner's numbers starting to elevate here. He's starting to really find
December
his game.
stew.
December stew. Right? December stew and late year stew. Those are some of the best stews that you got. Big December stew guy. I love to make a good
winter stew. A good winter stew.
Love a good winter stew. So, it's nice to see him kind of bouncing back and showing who he really is.
Okay, now the chat's talking about how many 14-year-olds they could take on. So that's pretty funny. But Lance just killed me with this. He said, why is Boston paying Swayman $8 million? He does nothing good for the Bruins. Well played, Lance. We're all friends here. ELE. Everybody love everybody, and everybody like everybody, and like every video in our YouTube. Let's go now to the Greta Bar Yeg Boston lineup, brought to you by Greta Bar. Spot to be, downtown Edmonton. Come on, we got a home game here. If you're heading out, you need vibes pregame, that's where you go. You need vibes postgame, that's where you go. You need just good food and good drinks and good vibes. Doesn't matter weekday or weekend. Go to Greta Bar Yeg. Check them out. All right, Brett. I almost said whip it out. That would have been, Pause.
Phrasing.
Phrasing was off there. Brett, can you please present the lineup, please?
Oh, I'll present.
Presenting. Morgan Geeky, top line with Pavel Zacha and David Pasternak. Second line, The Rat, Brad Marchand with Elias Lindholm and Justin Brazeau. Third line, Trent Frederick with Charlie Coyle and Oliver Wahlstrom. Fourth line grinders, Mark McLaughlin, John Beecher, and Mark Kastelik. Your decor, he's back. Nikita Zadorov, he is back. I wish Evander Kane was playing. Like to see those two dudes go at it again. Zadorov with Charlie McAvoy. Jordan Osterley. Brett, remember when I got that question wrong yesterday in a content that will be hitting soon? He's with Brandon Carlo, Mason Lowry with Andrew Peak. Just throw the one that has all of them up there, Brett. Zach, I ask it all the time. Who's your player to watch for the Boston Bruins, the away team this evening?
Yeah, I think there's some pretty obvious guys that you want to keep an eye on. David Pasternak, Brad Marchand. It kind of goes without saying, right? Guy for me, fourth line grinder, Mark Kastelik, Calgary Hitman legend. When I was on the beat,
do you want to share with the people that you're actually from Calgary?
I'm not actually from Calgary. I'm from St. Albert, but
yeah.
I lived in Calgary for a lot of my life. And I covered the Calgary Hitmen in a playoff run they had in 2019. Kastelik had 50 goals that year for the Calgary Hitmen. Yeah, he was unreal. And they've gotten some offense from their depth lines, their third and fourth lines. Yeah. So, I think there's a couple of guys to keep an eye out, but going with one near and dear to the heart.
Pretty sure the Bruins lead the NHL in hits as well. Brett, who's your player to watch?
Well, you mentioned Kastelik here. I just wanted to point out that Bob has been mentioning Kastelik a little bit recently. He was on What Chaos and mentioned Kastelik and talked to the boys over there, obviously Boston boys, about Mark Kastelik, and then mentioned it on his show as well. So Mark Kastelik could be an interesting little player to watch out for in the future.
Chuck him too.
That's the thing. And that was kind of what Bob was saying, that this bottom six needs another dimension. I know you have Corey Perry, but there was a lot of talk about Mark Kastelik. It'll be interesting to see Mark Kastelik tonight. For me, the player to watch is, you know what? I picked up Trent Frederick. He's been, I think, as you know, on fantasy sports. He has been fantasy hockey. He has been fantastic lately and in the last couple of weeks. See if he can keep that hot streak riding for this game here. And Mark Kastelik will be a fun one to watch, but also Trent Frederick. Not specifically, selfishly. There we go. Selfishly for my fantasy hockey team.
We got some super chats in right now. Super chats. And it all is in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, a cause near and dear to everybody who's a fan of the Edmonton Oilers, fan of Oilers Nation, or just have a heart. So all your funds going towards that. Lance is in $2, and he simply says, Calgary sucks.
Yeah. Well said.
Well said. See, sometimes less words means more.
That's right.
That's just there. And then our boy Liam Orban's in. He says, I agree with Lance for a solid $2.79. Then Connor McDavid is in and says, I agree with Billiam. I love it. Also, Liam said no one. They all suck for his player to watch. He also asked, how was the nap, Aaron? Liam, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's very dark in that room. However, they're motion sensitive lights. So the moment you move, it's like,
Gets
oh,
bright
it was
pretty
awful.
quick.
But I'm starting to feel better, boys. I'm starting to feel better. Talking puck, it's gotten me moving along here. Let's go now to Bet365, Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. We love them. They're a proud partner of Pre-Gaming with Bordzy. Open an account today. Bet on a huge range of markets, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the code NATION Nation. All right, Bert, throw it up for me. I already feel great about the first one that's on here because Zach brought it up. A little Bouch, 1+ power play points. Juicy, plus 210. You can't hit Hyman in the face if he's wearing the cage, so I like his odds to get on the score sheet with the man advantage, and we showed the penalty kill numbers, the special team numbers for the Boston Bruins. Not ideal. Second one, I have not changed that, I think, for 6 straight games. Not even the photo. They're going to continue to give me holy shit Bob Stauffer. We'll get to that in a second. 29 for 2+ points, plus 120. He's hit this in a number of games in a row. I think 6 games now in a row. And then finally, Darnell to get over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 120. I like some of that. Before I ask you guys what you like, Liam's in with dry 2 points. Bob Stauffer's in with a super chat for $27.99. Clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up. Says for Ben, I'm throwing that cash like I'm at Chez Pierre Cabaret. Does anybody know what that means?
Yes, Chez Pierre. It is a very famous strip club here in Edmonton. I, in fact, did a story when I was in McEwen.
How do you know that?
I just said that. I did a story about it when I was at McEwen.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey. I'll take off one article of I took my shoe off. You guys can't tell. Pull up the bankroll again here. Zachary, you look at these 3 bets. Which one do you like the most? And can I preface this with, I have gone perfect in the last 2 games.
I love it. I love the Bouch one, man. Plus 210 there. I think it's a really nice number. I like the Oilers power play in this spot here tonight to generate some offense. Again, 3.4 times shorthanded per game. The Boston Bruins over the last 10, they cannot stay out of the penalty box. And with the Oilers power play starting to click, man, they're making teams pay. And that could be something that the Oilers really need to get themselves going tonight.
Bert, what do you got? Which of those bets do you like? Cover for me in betting.
I'm a big proprietor behind this Bouch power play point, although I couldn't get it into my spider today, but I do like I like that one. I will also take your dry 2+ points. I think if the offense is going to be catalyst or catalytic.
A catalyst?
Yeah, if there's going to be a catalyst for this offense tonight. It was a long night for all of us. What's on the spider? You really want to know? I will tell you.
If you're new here, spider is an 8-leg parlay.
It is also a 7-leg spider. So again, was in the house full of demented children.
He got stepped on.
And well, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. For me, I have oil money line dry over 1.5 points. So as we mentioned on the bankroll, I have a McDavid goal. I have a Nuge over 1.5 shots. I have over 3.5 goals in this game. I have Carlo. I have a Boston player on this team, or on this one. Carlo over 1.5 block shots. You know, since I know what the block shots means,
yep.
I like carrying this block shot, so I'm going over a 1.5 blocks for Carlo and over 27.5 saves for Swayman. Now, you may sit there and go, why would you do that? I think it's going to be because Edmonton's going to pepper Boston tonight.
I do too.
Yeah, so that's why I'm going. Hey, you know what?
I think the fans are going to get on Swayman's behind.
Yeah.
Also, pop the sponsor off so I can read this properly. Jefferson After Dark. Jefferson and says, in case I forget, Merry Christmas to the Oilersnation crew. Thanks for putting up with all of us assholes. I could say the same to you, brother. Thanks for putting up with this. We love you all. You guys are the best. You have the best job in the world. And holidays is the time to tell your loved ones you love them. Boys, I love both of you. I wouldn't have rather been hungover with anybody else for the entire day today. And we're not done yet because we've got Oilersnation After Dark right here on the ON YouTube. Right after the game, we will, the 3 of us talking, breaking down, hopefully, an Edmonton Oilers W. But also in the meantime, I need you to go check out nationgear.ca. Grab a little Christmas sweater action on there as it's Puck's cheer and holiday gear. This thing is a beauty. So many were wearing them yesterday at the Christmas party. I've already covered mine in stains and spills. You wouldn't even believe. And tomorrow, Brett, we got another Christmas party. We got more spills and stains to get on our holiday Christmas sweaters. You got to love it. Shout out to them at Nation Gear. Also, you can get the My City collection. You can do all kinds of things. And it's probably, I forgot to put it in front of me because I can't even think about the thought of alcohol right now. Odd Company Nation Beer. Big shouts out to them. They are fantastic drink. Enough to fill a bathtub of these last night, and they were delicious. They went down so smooth. You can find them both Odd Company locations in the Edmonton area or liquorconnect.com. Make your local liquor store. Pick that bad boy up because it's perfect for game day, and it's perfect for every goddamn day. It is beautiful. And Christmas parties. It's a little too good on Christmas parties, I actually might say. Dangerous would be the word. They're so delicious. I love you all. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds this evening. We'll talk right after the game. Over and out. Boys, we got one done. Oh, my God.